Alright, so I noticed some interesting things while I was watching the Bulls-Hawks game, and I thought I'd make a video on it. The first is Lauri's struggles. Here, in this first play, he's going to get a switch onto Trey Young, which is every big man's dream. However, he's going to take him off the dribble, and he'll fail to get an attempt at the rim. And this is one of the many issues for Lauri that limits his effectiveness as a scorer. Here, he's going to get a bogey switched onto him, which is another mismatch. However, again, he's going to fail to get to the rim, and instead will have to settle for a tough shot. I do think that one of the root causes of this issue is Lauri essentially trying to social distance whenever he's on the court, as he really hates contact. Here he switched onto Kevin Huerter, and he's going to allow Huerter to take him right into the paint and shoot over him without offering any resistance. So when it comes to initiating contact, I'd like to see a bit more James Harden in him. My next takeaway is that Wendell Carter Jr. is not looking very good. So here he's going to be the screener in this play. However, both the players he's screening for are going to back cut, which will leave him alone at the top of the key. He'll get one of his feet behind the arc, making it really easy to swing his other foot behind the arc and attempt a three. However, there's a miscommunication with Kobe White, and it leads to a turnover. But the big takeaway here is that he doesn't even look at the hoop the entire time, and that's just not good because he seems to have lost a lot of confidence. That lack of confidence shows up in other areas of his game. Here he's going to pick up Reddish. Reddish is going to go to the corner. However, because he seems to second guess everything he does, he's going to leave Reddish and give up an open corner three. These next two plays are going to show how Wendell Carter Jr. is really struggling as a roll man. Here, Kevin Huerter jumps on the pass, and this kind of sets them in a pick and roll like scenario where Huerter would have iced the screen. And because Huerter missed his gamble, Gallo's going to come and pick up Kobe White. So Wendell Carter Jr. needs to roll to the left block via the left elbow so that he gets an open layup because Gallinari has chosen to guard Kobe White. Or Cam Reddish will have to tag him, creating an open corner three for Patrick Williams. However, you can see as Wendell Carter goes into the paint, he's still on the right side of the key, allowing Gallo to guard both of them, and he negates the advantage that Chicago is able to gain through Kevin Huerter's gamble at the ball. Yes, Kobe White turns it over, but that's not what's relevant here. Here he's going to negate another advantage with a bad roll. So as you see, he catches DeAndre Hunter on the screen, so he needs to roll into the paint, going through the middle of the key so that Gallo can't guard both of them, and if one of the other defenders chooses to help, then there's an open shooter on the left. However, as he rolls, I have no idea what he's doing, but he forces Zach LaVine to take a tough shot, when again he should have rolled to the left block. Now we're going to take a look at some of the takeaways I had from the Hawks side of the ball, starting with Cam Reddish's improvement as a finisher. Last year, if you don't remember, he was a pretty bad finisher. You've probably seen the clip where he spins a couple times. And I'm a big believer in Reddish, specifically his tools, so it's nice to see his improvement as a finisher. Here, he's going to get what's essentially a handoff from John Collins and going to go downhill, and he's going to launch a nice soft floater into the sweet spot conceded by the drop coverage, and it looks natural, which is nice. In this next clip, he's going to get the steal, and he's going to go all the way. LaVine gets in front of him, however, he bumps him off, and this is a great finishing tool to have to use against smaller players. In this next clip, he's going to get the steal again. However, first, I want us to all acknowledge how he tips a pass with his right hand and then catches it in his left, something that not all players can do. And then, using two long strides, he finishes across the key. Notice how in both of these clips, he maintains impeccable balance, something he really struggled with last year. Here, Reddish is going to get to attack a closeout, and he's going to be met at the rim by Otto Porter. The first thing I like is that he doesn't shy away from the contact. He's going to go right there. Then the next thing I like is that he uses his body to shield himself from Otto Porter, giving him a clean look at the rim. And despite him missing the attempt, he still showed impressive mid-air contortion that can be built upon. His finishing still has issues, and as you can see here, both times he's on the left side of the rim, but he's still finishing with his right hand, so improving his left hand is something he'll need to work on, because against better defenders, that'll be a block. The other thing I really liked from the Hawks was seeing them leverage Trey Young's shooting gravity by using him as a screener. Here he sets a flare screen for Cam Reddish. However, just before he makes contact, he darts away, making an ineffective screen. This is saved by the fact that Reddish curls right around Gallo, and Gallo essentially serves as a second screen so that when Reddish cuts, he's wide open for a layup. In this clip, Trey Young is going to set a flare screen for Kevin Huerter. This time he actually makes contact and snags his man, Patrick Williams, on the screen. And even though Gallo shoots the ball, which was the wrong choice, this left Kevin Huerter wide open for a three. And alternatively, Kevin Huerter could have cut, forcing Kobe White to drop back, allowing Trey Young to step back into an open three. If you really enjoyed the video, sharing this on Twitter would really mean a lot and would help me know that you want to see more of this. Thanks for watching.